There are multiple investigations of former President Trump going on. I think there have been news reports really of 3 in the Justice Department: the documents investigation, the January 6th investigation, and perhaps one into his post-presidential fundraising. Then you have an investigation going on by the Fulton County District Attorney in Georgia. You have the big lawsuit in New York State. You had the January 6th committee. Is this overkill?
Well, yeah. I mean, collectively, of course, it's overkill. I mean, the left has Trump derangement syndrome, many of them, and.
But if each one of them is legitimate in its own sense, are they still
Right.
collectively
So,
overkill?
I think. I do think there's a legitimate basis to look into the January 6th things and to see if there was a plan to disrupt Congress. That's a legitimate inquiry. I don't think that's going to get to the president myself, President Trump. But I don't know all the facts. I think, and I'll get to Mar-a-Lago, I think there was a basis to look into that too. The civil action in New York was a political hit job. It's ridiculous. It was clearly an abuse of the process because she was announcing she was going to get rid of Trump or go after Trump during her election.
It was the campaign issue, yeah.
Yeah. And when you look at what, they spent 3 years and millions of dollars on this thing when, this is a real estate company, with getting loans from a big commercial bank that, assesses the property itself. So I think that's just a political hit job.
Georgia?
I think that's overkill myself. I also am a little worried about going after the so-called false slate of electors, because if this was in fact putting together people who would be ready if the challenge to the election results in that state had some merit and was made some progress, and that they would have an alternative slate ready to go, that doesn't strike me as criminal. No one was deceived by setting up these alternates. There was no official group that challenged the accreditation. This wasn't a situation where you had 2 different groups and it was hard to tell which one was legitimate under state law. So I think we have to be careful, and here that we don't try to make it a crime to contest elections results. Say, well, that's a crime to contest it, and you have to draw that line. Legitimate First Amendment activity versus actual criminal conduct.